grew up in this artistic atmosphere as my father was an artist. He came from Hungary in the early 20s to Paris to study art, and then when the Nazis came, he had to escape into this Saint Libre in the Côte d'Azur, as he was Jewish as well. So he came to Germany in the late 50s with his big package on his shoulders. So the whole atmosphere at home was already very heavy through this past. But also very natural it felt becoming an artist, as working with him constantly in his studio, collaborating, and we had a very intense time and a very close relationship. From my perspective now, it looking backwards, like this was a special time we already had in that early years. A friend of mine told me about this little school in Bavaria where you could learn wood carving for 3 years and make like a final exam where you are like a professional wood carver, and learning this technique from early on was like learning a language and how to write, but still not knowing what to write. And I think it took a long way until I developed my personality to really create inner cosmos and have an idea what I could write, and it still goes on. In my student times, my professor confronted us with a lot of artists from Renaissance. You are like a huge filter, so you absorb a lot in that time of your life, and so I was falling in love with this art. It was like a key point of my work that I was confronted with this art and this language. So I developed then my own language through this. Sometimes it's a distraction for me to create creatures. Sometimes it really comes from my daily life, as I take then people from my family or very close friends as a starting point to create a work. At the end, the work itself, it's much more than about their own story. It's the story of one's life, and it could be someone else as well. I see the kids, they have fun being involved. When I confronted them, if they would like to be part of a film, they were interested. They were a little bit lost as well, as we all went lost in the desert while we were shooting this film. But I think at the end it was part of the film and part of the story to be lost in that landscape as a child and in these characters. Bump Body for the show comes from a title from a work, and I hope that we can find the balance between heaviness and lightness and the humoristic side of my work, so through the drawings, through smaller works. So I think you should hopefully have a journey of different feelings and being touched by different layers of your mind.